Since the last time, I found a rancher and I used the time-honored technique of save scumming. Rancher MCA, he needs a hat named after Adam Yauch of the Beastie Boys. May he rest in peace. Well, he's not a rancher yet, but he will be one day. Somebody asked me to give them hats, so I'll go ahead and give them hats related to their roles. All right, so super duper hard digging. Chuck D gets construction 3. Professor X gets the tinfoil hat. Cardi will get, well, she's a gopher. I really need to redo her. No, I'm going to leave her in ranching. But we'll go with improved carrying since that's the original intention. Super duper hard digging, construction, and grilling. There we go. So now everybody will have hats related to their roles. I have dupes inside the base wearing Atmos suits, so I need to fix that. Right? I want the Atmos suits to go on when they go here, and I want them to be left behind when they come back in. But I can see now that they could come out with an Atmos suit, come up here, and go inside the base there. So I'm going to disable entry. Actually, I'll just disable both directions from that door. I've already done the same on this door. Nobody can go in or out. Although this one's not important because I have it walled off down here. But let's just leave it like that. Let's just set it up so that when people leave our main living area, they need to have an Atmos suit on. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you to take it off. Unequip. And then we'll deliver those here. And I'm missing one more suit. Where's my other one? Or maybe I just haven't made it yet. Am I just short an Atmos suit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, maybe I just need to make one more. Ah, I'm waiting for reed fibers. Okay, well that's why we got the drecko, right? Okay, the other thing I did is I finished sweeping up all this area, and then I broke out some of the walls so that we can get more polluted water out of our water vent there. We're continuing to get clean water from the steam vent. I think the steam vent should really be walled in as well to contain the heat, because look at this. I'm going to put that on my to-do list. We'll enclose this with insulated tiles and do all that good stuff. Yeah, we've actually got a little bit of slime lung over here. Okay, and we have a neural vacillator, which I haven't assigned to anybody. So who should we honor with the first rip through the neural vacillator? Let's go with our first dupe. Chuck D, we'll let him go at it. Okay, so aside from all that, I think everything's looking good. One potential issue I see, though, is that my CO2 machine is down here, and I'm now closing in the base. So I think I need to manage CO2 within the living quarters of the base. Yeah, so we'll put that on the to-do list as well. Okay, so there's a few things I wanted to work on today. First thing is I came across on the on the clay forums, however you want to say it, I came across an interesting design to automate the incubators. Now, normally, if you have unpowered incubators, you would want one of these for every 5 hatches, because with no power, the incubators take 20 cycles. Now, if you power the incubators, then once a day the rancher will come by and he will lullaby the egg. None of these have been lullabied because they haven't been powered enough, I suppose. But he'll lullaby the egg, and when that happens, it'll hatch in 4 cycles. So I could get by with 1 incubator for all of these ranches, and if it was powered. Now, these take 240 watts, but the trick is that it only has to be powered long enough for the lullaby to be delivered. And once that lullaby is sung to the egg, it'll get the speed increase on the hatching until the next cycle. So the speed increase on hatching comes from the rancher. It doesn't come from having power, but the rancher won't do it unless it's powered. So there's a way that you can automate it so that it becomes powered once a day until the rancher sings to the egg, and then the power shuts off until the next day. And that's what I'd like to set up here. So, whoops. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these. And I'm going to get rid of this critter sensor. Not going to use those anymore. I'll leave these other incubators for now. Actually, this critter we can turn into meat. Sorry, little fella. Okay, so to make this work, the first thing that we need to do is we need to replace, and I'm just going to do this with, I'll just do it with 2 of the incubators. And I'm only going to use 1 for now. And I want to do it with a second one just in case I want to incubate. Well, I know I do want to incubate drecko eggs and things like that. Okay. So at the heart of this system is a weight plate. Okay, so we put a weight plate there, and that tells us whether or not the rancher is standing there to do the lullaby. Okay, and then it's going to go something like this. We're going to put a filter gate right there. Filter gate for 5 seconds. Okay, so that way we don't trigger our timer if someone is just walking across it. You've got to be standing there for at least 5 seconds. And then we go into a series of 3 buffer gates. The buffer gates are what are going to create the 1 cycle delay. Okay, and there are 3 of those because the buffer gates can only go up to 200 seconds, and there are 600 seconds in a cycle. So what's going to happen is if a rancher is standing on the weight plate for more than 5 seconds, it'll start the timer, which is going to count down a full cycle. Okay, and then at the end of that, we have another filter gate. So that'll allow the incubator to be activated for a long enough time for the rancher to complete the lullaby. And then finally at the end, we have a NOT gate because we need to invert the signal. And then we connect all that with wire. And that gets connected to the incubator itself. All right, and it takes up a lot of space, but So be it. Alright, so I'm going to sweep this area because we don't want anything resting on the weight plates. Alright, so a dupe weighs 30 kilograms, so we'll set the pressure to activate if it's above 25. Okay, the first filter gate is 5 seconds. That one's already set. The buffer gates we're going to set to 200 seconds each. 1, 2, we can't do the third one yet. And then this filter gate we're going to set to 10 seconds. So that'll maintain the activation signal for at least 10 seconds once the rancher stands on there again, and then the NOT gate inverts the signal. Buffer gate 200. Oh no. Oh yeah, filter is 10. Yeah, so again, what happens? The incubator is powered. So that's telling the rancher that it's ready for him to come and sing the lullaby. He comes and does it. As he's doing it, he's standing on this weight plate, right? Because it's activated by default. He stands on the weight plate. That sends the signal here. If he's standing there for at least 5 seconds, that green signal gets passed here, and then the buffer is activated. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200 times 3. And it'll hold that signal for at least 10 seconds after he's standing there so that he's got enough time to finish the lullaby, and then it'll deactivate again. Once that green signal gets through all that, then the output will turn red and it'll deactivate it for another cycle. Okay, so now we just need to give it power. And we can watch it work. I know I'm probably not explaining it that well, but let's wait till it gets powered up and then we can watch it in action. And of course, it's bedtime. Whenever you want to demonstrate something, that's when the dupes all go to bed. Okay, and I'm going to disconnect those two for now. Okay. Let me slow down time a little bit here. Alright, so that activates this whole chain for at least one cycle. You can see him starting to count down. Right, so now it's lullabied and it's no longer drawing any power. And then once these 600 seconds go by, it'll activate the incubator again, and it'll stay activated until the rancher comes by and sings the lullaby again to the egg. So it's pretty slick. And I have a glossy drecklet egg. We definitely want that. Okay, so this way I can support all of these ranches with a single incubator. It's only going to use power for, 10 seconds plus however long it takes for the rancher to get over there and do it. And it takes up much less space. Okay, now let's set up the same thing on this one. Alright, so again, we start with a filter to make sure that we activate for at least 5 seconds. We go into 1, 2, 3 buffers. we go into another filter to make it stay on for at least 10 seconds. And then a NOT gate. And then we connect it all together. Alright, so copy settings. And then once that gets built, I can just copy the settings from the other one. Okay, and the glossy drecklet egg. Huh. It looks like the lullaby didn't go through. Well, we'll catch it again on the next cycle. Actually, maybe she'll come by again. We'll see. And I'm getting pipes breaking. That's my water pipe. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's because my tank is full. Alright, so I think what I'll do is I'll shut this off. And then I'll just open that up so that we can empty out the pipe. Excuse me. I should have done that with insulated pipe. Yeah, I mean, ideally we would... ideally we'd have a sensor in here and then an automation wire that comes all the way down here and turns the pump on and off, but I don't want to use that much automation wire. Okay, yeah, so it looks like this might be drawn power. Oh, okay, it is lullabied, but our logic didn't get activated, so we'll have to wait for the next cycle for that to kick in on that one. We're just going to use a little bit of extra power in the meantime. You know, for the CO2 situation, maybe what I'll do is I'll just put an airflow tile right there. That'll let CO2 out of the base. You know what? Let's do 2 of them. Somebody's suffocating. Oh, man, I forgot all about him. Okay, so he got health generation. Let's hope he gets back home. Sorry about that, buddy. Okay. Completely fried his brain. And that reminds me of something else that I want to do. Okay, no, he's okay now. Jeez, I really need to be more careful. Alright, and now there's a bunch of pee-pee on the floor here. So, one thing I meant to do that I didn't was to put a pee-pee catcher underneath the Atmosuit dock so that if they make a mess in their suit, it won't make a mess down here. So, in order to do that, I'm going to need to move this gas reservoir, and I actually want to redo how we're feeding all this. So let me get rid of that. Whoops. I'll put another reservoir right there. And I'm going to cut the input on that. Okay, because I need to get this reservoir out of the way. Alright, now while we're waiting for all this to get done, I would like to... What are you doing there? Oh, well, his schedule's all messed up. Since I left him in the brain zapper. Okay, so we'll let that tank transfer. In the meantime, I want to keep digging down so that we can find the oil biome. I'm just trying to see... I think I'll go down from here. Yeah, because if I go here, I'm going to have to go through all that polluted water, and I want the trip to the oil biome to be fairly clean with as little liquid as possible. Because I don't want a bunch of liquid to fall down into there. So we'll start working on that. Okay, now we're cleaning up. Good. Alright, Chuck D's getting a massage. He's recovering. I don't want to take on any more dupes right now. I'll take a balm lily seed. And let's keep some research going. I've already gotten pretty much all the important stuff done. So I think now we'll just start knocking off some of the other stuff. Let's see, do we want any more skill points? I do need somebody trained in mechatronics. Okay, we could do that. Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll make Iggy our mechatronics engineer. So we'll need to get one more skill point, and then she'll be able to build, you know, some of the automation stuff, the material handling stuff. Okay, so this hasn't been lullabied yet. Let's check on these. Alright, looks like this one was recently done. And... oh, you know what? I didn't put the settings on these. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's why it's doing that. I never set the settings on the gates. Okay, should work now. Starvation. Who's starving? I've got lots of food. Okay. Yeah, and then once I have mechatronics, we can do... some automation of picking up the eggs and turning them into meat. Okay, so now this is working. So they've both been lullabied, and they're not drawing any power. Okay, good. So now we can keep building down. What are we making this out of? Granite. Okay, I do have a lot of granite. I guess that's okay. Alright, this one's idle for the next 24 cycles, so that's fine. I'll set this back to where it was. And we'll wait for some of that water to get used up. Okay. Alright, so this is done. delete that. Actually, we'll leave that in place. We need to get rid of the reservoir. Then I'm going to put a mesh tile right there. Okay. Now on the output here, I'm going to change the way that we're feeding these Atmosuit docks so that it's more balanced. Because we can, if we use a bridge, the output of a bridge will evenly distribute, or it'll alternate distribution of the gases between every output that's connected to the bridge. So for example, if I output to this bridge here, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pipes coming out. Each one of those pipes will get the same amount of gas that goes through this bridge. It'll send packets down each one in an alternating fashion. Now on this side, I need to move this. I'm going to waste a little bit of oxygen here. Okay, now I have to feed these two. All right. This is about to get more complicated than it needs to be, probably. There. I could have put this tank in a better place, I think. But anyway. So the oxygen comes in, it comes out of the tank, it goes through this bridge, it gets split evenly into these two paths. One of them goes here where it gets split 4 ways, and the other one goes here where it gets split in 4 ways. So that way all 8 of these oxygen docks, or of these Atmosuit docks, should be getting the same amount of oxygen. And they'll all fill equally as slowly. Okay. Now, let's make the PP catcher. The PP catcher is a very simple device. And I want it to go... Whoops, where's my polluted water line? It's... God, what a mess. Alright, we want the polluted water to go up there. Or we could just dump it down there. I kind of like that idea. There's not going to be much of it, so... let's just dump it down there. Okay, and... power... where do we want to power it? I'll power it from there. Again, it's not going to see a lot of... it's not going to see a lot of use. But at least we've got automated cleanup. Alright, let's see how we're doing with our digging project. Ooh, oil's right there. That wasn't very far away at all, was it? Or maybe it was. This is the first time I built the whole base, like, below the printing pod. Let's do some more research. Solid management. Let's check skills. Yeah, I really want Iggy to level up so I can get mechatronics. Alright. MCA can now ranch. I think I set his priorities already. Yeah, I did. Alright, and that means we should change his hat. There we go. Ah, and there is our drecko. Glossy drecklet. Alright. So here's the cool thing. The regular dreckos give us reed fibers. The glossy dreckos, when they're sheared, will give us plastic. And that's a great way for us to get some early game plastic. Alright, and speaking of plastic, I'll be able to get some from the oil biome here very shortly as well. Let's see, how do we want to break in here? Okay, well first of all, I want to put in a fluid catcher, right? Because like I said, I hate when I get water mixing in with water that falls down and mixes in with the oil. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to come over a little bit. And then we'll dig down. I'll just, you know, dig down to the abyssalite. And we'll build a little fluid catcher. And then on the other side of that, we will dig down into the oil biome. We can break this open to release some oxygen. And we'll need to dig there as well. Let's harvest that. The thimble reeds are actually growing now, which is fantastic. We'll be able to get lots of fibers. Okay, and let's dig. I'm going to dig all of that out so that we can put in a fire pole. Let's see, do we want to make it from copper or iron? We'll just make it from copper. There we go. That'll speed things up. Alright, now as we break into this, we need to be careful. Always need to be careful down here. So we've got some oil right here. Over here, there's more oil, but look at look at how much oil is in there. There's 2,086 kilograms in each tile. So this oil is under pressure. And that means that when we open this up, oil likes to be at around, like we can see here, it likes to be at around 900 kilograms per tile. So when we open this up, it is going to rapidly expand. So I'm not going to break into this until I've cleared out plenty of space around it, because I don't want oil gushing up out of the oil biome. So for now, we'll just break in down here, and we'll start excavating this area before we open that up. Alright, so we can even start issuing some of our dig commands and building some scaffolding. And just start digging things out. Do I still want to be making that out of granite? No, we should probably switch over to igneous rock. What do we have down here? Igneous rock. Yeah, let's start making the ladders out of igneous rock, since that's what we have available locally here. One, two, three, 4, 5. Right, so we'll just dig out. We'll dig out all this stuff. Just want to clear out the whole area. And we can even dig out a bit below it as well. And I think that'll give us enough space so that when we open this up, it can all flow out and have a place to go. Okay. All right. So the other thing I would like, pardon me. The other thing I'd like to do is I would like to turn my Drecko ranch into a 2-tiered setup so that I can have more hydrogen gas for them to play in. But that means I need to move the mealwood down. Okay, so this is set up 16 by 4. Well, I'm saying I only want 3 because that's how many plants I want. But what we can do is we can put the mealwood down here and then have a ladder going up. Put the door down here, and then we can seal up this whole area, and we can give them a lot more hydrogen to roam around in. Let's take out a couple tiles here so we can get this carbon dioxide out of there. It seems to want to collect on that side of the base. Or actually, you know, we'll put airflow tiles down there. Alright, so I think I'll build that down here. Now if I have 3 dreckos and they need 12, well, 3 glossy dreckos will need 9 mealwood plants. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll build it down here. All right. So then this will be the entrance to the new and improved Drecko Ranch. I'm going to have to start warming it up, though, because it's too cold right now. Oops. I keep hitting the wrong key. Let's see. So let's go like that. Okay, and then build a ladder over here. That tile's going to go away. And then it'll be sealed up over there. Actually, let's put the ladder right there. I'll put the ladder here so that my dupes don't have to travel as far. Okay, and then up here is where we'll have the rancher stuff. And this is the part that's going to be loaded with hydrogen. Okay, and we'll put mesh tile on the floor. Yeah, sandstone ladder. Okay, and then I just need to figure out where to get the hydrogen to load in there. Paku. Okay, we're having fried fish. I should probably set up a Paku farm, but I don't really know how to do that right now. So maybe later we'll do it. I'm sure I'll get Paku again at some point. Ah, see, look at that. It broke out by itself. Just from the high pressure that's in there. Man, well, I'm glad I got a lot of this dug out already. We want to be careful of the spore kid. Okay, and now that the seal's already been broken, might as well dig it out. See, look at that. It might still spill out of here. Okay. Whew. Close one. Now the other good thing is I'm getting a lot of lead. And lead is nice because it's already, when you dig it up, it's already refined. So lead is really good to use for stuff like automation wires and things of that nature when, like early in the game. Okay, let's clear all that out. I'm going to leave the abyssalite in place as much as possible. Alright. And I think we might, I don't know. I've never done slicksters either. I'm going to try to I'm going to try to maintain some of these biomes where this, or some of these areas where the slicksters are, so that they don't all perish. I was playing in another game where I just wanted to tame a slickster to get an achievement, and there were no more slicksters on the map. I had destroyed them all. It was sad. Okay, how we doing over here? Alright, so I can get rid of that now. And that should fix my heating loop. Okay, Rancher's doing his job. That's good. All right. And we need to get this egg out of here. Oh, I remember the other thing I want to do. I want to limit the area where my critters are. And I want to do that because once I put in some sweepers and other automation here, I want to make sure that all the eggs are in the same place. Now, how did a hatch burrow inside of this tile? That's crazy. All right, and then what I need to do is I need to re-wrangle all the guys that are on the wrong side of the fence here. Okay. And it's still big enough. It's still big enough for 5, because with this size room, it's actually a little. It's like 4 tiles bigger than you need for 5 dupes, or for 5 hatches. So I can put this little wall here, and it'll still be large enough without them getting cramped. But then they'll all be here, and that way when they lay eggs, I can pick up the eggs with an auto sweeper and get them out of there on a conveyor. Okay, how we doing temp-wise? Looks good. Now we can remove this piping. Alright, and once those mealwoods all get planted, let's clean this up. And we get some hydrogen in there. I'll move the dreckos over here instead. And I'll fill up this whole top half with hydrogen, and that'll give them, hopefully, a better growth rate. Because their scales only grow when they're in hydrogen. Okay, I just need a source of hydrogen. Where can I get some hydrogen? How about from there? Yeah, that'll work. So let's automate that. All right, so I'm going to put a vent. Put a vent up there. And I just want to fill the top room. I don't want hydrogen getting down here, because then it'll stifle my mealwood. Okay, so I'm going to put a gas element sensor. Let's get rid of this ladder. I'll put a gas element sensor right there, and I'll let the hydrogen flow in until I detect hydrogen just at the level of this floor. Okay, and this is where I'll start to use lead. See, now look at all the refined metal I've got. Thanks to Mr. Lead. Okay. Yeah, so let's build this through the walls so it's not terribly ugly. I'm going to need a few bridges. And I'm going to run out of polluted water soon. for this bomb, so I might have to find another water supply here soon. We've got brine that we can desalinate. One of my goals one of my goals for this playthrough is not to get any sour gas from down here. We'll see if I'm able to be successful or not. Okay, yes, I'm going to set this to, you know what, I need a NOT gate. So I got to flip that signal. Okay. So as long as it doesn't detect hydrogen there, it should open that up. Okay, now I need to deconstruct the pipe that is there, leave the bridge in place. There we go. Oh, and it's going to say that those are unreachable, right? There. That should do it. Okay, this critter is still on the wrong side of the fence, as is that one. And let's do a sweep here. Get everything cleaned up. See how we're doing on food. Alright, we're still eating garbage. Iggy still doesn't have her skill point yet. But getting pretty close. So as soon as I get that mechatronics engineering, we will build automation to collect eggs. We'll send them into an evolution chamber, and we can start to make barbecue for everybody. Okay, and here comes our hydrogen. And then once I've got enough in this room, I will hook this back up to the input and drain the pipe back in the opposite direction so that we don't waste any. All right, and that'll squeeze. It'll eventually squeeze the oxygen down to the bottom. I think this over pressurizes at 2000. Yeah, so it might take a little while for all that gas to work its way into there. Especially since I got a fairly high gas pressure in here already. Okay, and the drecko has been sheared, so I have a little bit of plastic now. And that means that I could actually deconstruct that, and I can replace it with a high pressure vent. And then this room will fill much faster. There we go. That one over pressurizes at 20 kilograms. This might actually use up all my hydrogen. Oh well. whatever it takes to make the dreckos happy. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to copy settings from that one. Then I'll tell this to wrangle nobody. Actually, I'll set this to 0. Auto wrangle surplus, and then I think that'll make my rancher come and wrangle these guys and then move them over here. Perfect. Oh, that worked out so nicely. And now I can disable that. And then we'll send the rest of the hydrogen back into the tanks. Yep. Now it'll get wrangled and should get moved over here. Ah, glossy drecko as well. There we go. Now let's see if he's... hopefully he's smart enough to work his way up to the top. Go up there, fellas. That's where all your yummy hydrogen is. Okay, let's deconstruct this. Deconstruct the sensor. Build another section of ladder to make it look nice. Okay, and then we've got a nice little drecko ranch. Now let's see how big this is. I've got 80 tiles. Well, see, I'm really limited by the amount of meal that I have, unfortunately. I could have actually made this, I could have had this one tile smaller here and one tile smaller there. I'm using a lot of tiles that are just empty space. Or if I had built these into the floor, yeah, I mean, this could be much more compact, obviously. But, yeah, since I'm kind of limited on mealwood, like I said, the glossy dreckos need 3 mealwood plants, whereas the regular dreckos can survive on 2. But since I'm hoping to have all glossies, I'll just limit this to 3. And my hydrogen is expanding. Okay, it was under high pressure, so hydrogen may leak out. So what we can do there is I'll put an airflow tile right here so that if any hydrogen comes down to the top of these plants, it can flow out, and then the hydrogen will work its way up there. Oh, our voles hatched. So we can kill off the voles. Later in the game, I do intend to have a vole ranch for food. But for now, I don't have any way to feed them because you need... what is it? You need that space rock. Regolith. You have to feed them regolith, and I don't have any regolith. Okay. Great. I don't have any place to store plastic, huh? Alright, let's expand this. Polluted dirt. Okay, that's good. Alright, and these guys are still not in the right place, but that's not a big deal right now. Okay, well, I'm pretty pleased with that. Now let's just, before we finish today, let's... Ooh, there's not much hydrogen left, is there? Okay, well, I'm just going to... I'll just delete this pipe. And that line I'll leave there for any future need for hydrogen. can stop growing that mealwood. Okay, well, that's going to do it for today, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.